I've been struggling a lot with focus and motivation this week, and when that happens, I try to reflect on why so I can learn from it and hopefully avoid it happening too often. Well, one pattern I think I've noticed is if I work on something for too long, I start to slow down. And although I've been working on different bugs, I've been working on debugging in general for a few weeks now, so I've decided to change gears. And in fact, some of the tests I want to write would be a lot easier after implementing save and load, because I could save a scenario to load and then test the AI from that point. But before I do save and load, there's one other big change I want to make, to what I'm calling the Bob catalog. Bob stands for Board Object, and coincidentally, that's the same name I gave objects in Tesla the Weatherman, but for a different reason. Bobs include everything from units to crates to weapons, equipment, any object that can exist on the game board. Units and crates are special cases that get handled differently, but everything else gets put into a Bob catalog, which is used to populate the shop inventory and the ship parts list on the build tab. Until this week, the catalog was built by calling add part or add equip from a mod script, but that's pretty inconsistent with all the other mod content, and I also was assigning a numeric catalog ID to each item, which doesn't really work when I start adding mod support. If you add or remove a mod, all the numbering would change, and loading an old save would cause objects to be replaced by some random other objects. So I've made two big changes here. First, like ships and locations, Bobs are now also defined by JSON files. Second, instead of a numeric ID, they're now identified by a pair of strings, one for the mod they come from, and one for the individual item. As you might imagine, this is a pretty invasive change and it's not entirely finished yet, although my tests are already starting to pay off. Just running these tests after completing one major part of the refactoring, I already caught a bug. So I don't have a lot to show this week and it's probably going to be a very short video, but I do have a new item editor. It's not much to look at because I'm trying not to spend too much time on modding tools until I start focusing on mod support after the rest of the game is finished. Currently I'm using the Godot editor to create a scene for each Bob, and this editor just needs to attach metadata like flavor text and price, and to position the scene in a viewport to generate icons. I've converted several objects over to the new system already, and I'm starting to add some voxel art for things that previously only had sprites. My tentative plan is for smaller objects like this to remain voxel art in the finished game, rather than hiring an artist to make a new model for each individual weapon that I might come up with, mostly because I want the flexibility to keep adding new weapons and items on a whim as I keep coming up with ideas. Eventually I plan on adding the ability to create some types of objects from templates, like projectile weapons for instance. You just fill in the unique properties for that individual weapon, and the rest will be done automatically. But unfortunately that's all I've got for this week, and I might take a week off of the videos just to help get myself back on track. So as always, it really helps me out if you hit the like button, spread the word, and subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, thanks for watching.